Hey everybody, my name is Rydo and today we're starting a game called Obduction. So this is the newest game from the creators of the Myst series. Cyan Interactive, I believe, is the name of their company. And it's an interesting opportunity both for them to make a new game instead of reselling yet another remake of Myst. I have covered Myst in several different formats, at least in part, on my channel, and I wanted to play their newest game before I get around to playing Riven, the sequel to Myst, which is slightly long and is going to take a while for me to get around to. This game is designed to be very good looking, and with help of NVIDIA, it works with the GeForce experience and a program called Ansel, where I can actually just hit Alt F2 and bring up Ansel to take 3D photo mode, well, not 3D photos, but walk around the 3D environment to take photos and screenshots. It also has NVIDIA high dynamic range and multiple, what was this one? I think this is multiple frame sampling or something else. But you may tell with the GeForce experience, you may see everything here is turned up to max, and in the particular, the one thing that I would have missed is turning the resolution scale up to 150% for 1080p. VSync I like to turn off, and gamma is a thing that you might need to adjust on your screen. So if you can't see that there's like an asteroid here and you can adjust gamma on your screen, I guess if you're watching on a mobile phone, turn the brightness as high as you can. Gamma, as it goes up, lowers the range between the blackest possible black and the whitest possible white, which is helpful if your monitor can't do that. I suppose if I auto detected, we could see if this does anything different. Yeah, it pushes it back to epic, but that's not a big deal. There's also a mirror mode for VR. This supports both Steam VR and Oculus VR, and a seated mode for VR, so there was some effort for that, but I won't be using any of that. I will be just using the controller. I guess we haven't gotten to the type of game it is. It's a mystery game in a 3D environment. So you can take a picture with the Ansel mode, I imagine with Y. You can hit back with the B. A is interact. Seems like X does nothing. You can reset your VR view. You move with the left stick. Navigation mode on desktop is with the D-pad, and you look. So nothing really surprising here. Nothing on the L bumps, nothing on the right triggers. There's different navigation types even, so you could play this as a point-and-click adventure if you wanted to, or free roam with multiple transitions. That's very interesting. This is going to be a very nice to look at game. You can also see when we go back to this, I don't think it will. I didn't think it would save that on auto detect. Let's double check. It did. Oh well, that's not too bad. The only thing that's really different is this, and getting this right to 150 is actually a bit of a challenge, and the arrow keys don't work, so there we go. And apply. Okay, back, and that's really too much setup. Once again, let's just jump into the game and start using the controller. There is something interesting about the controller, that when you highlight things, the load game, which I can't click on right now, is still highlighted, so it's hidden. And of course you could change the language if we wanted to, but it doesn't seem like it wants to even move. Let's see. French, Italian, Dutch, Spanish, and lots of other languages. Let's begin the game. Yep. Interesting. It wants you to give the game a name. Oh, there was one more feature, I suppose, that should be mentioned. You are allowed in the options to decide if you want a shadow of your character, since you're looking out of your character's eyes. And here it is. So your options on that are male or female shadow, or just off. And I hopefully will be able to play with that a little bit later. I'm noticing in the menu though the controls don't quite work. Like when I'm pressing right and left, it doesn't switch. I have to actually hit A to switch, and I can't highlight the play button at all. So you're going to have to at least use the mouse to get to the main game. Let's begin. Sorry that took so long. So, menu. We get a little tutorial to begin with. We're in a forest. We are in a corner. I didn't do anything with the audio. I may need to... I think we'll be alright.
We all lost everything. Everything but our stories. And they shouldn't be forgotten. I was 3. It was April of 1983. Cecil, it was 1870 for you. Sam and Vera, you tell it like it was yesterday, but it's been 62 years since you saw that blast of light.
I may need to turn down the graphics for a little bit of smoothness here. Like the view distance, going from max view distance to epic might be better. So we're on a path. Doesn't seem like there's anything to interact with. Everything looks pretty good. It is kind of dark though. Use only designated campfire pits. You get this cursor when you move your
light. That's where all of our news stories began. It streaked across the sky, mesmerizing, but unnerving. Even in daylight, Joseph, you said it was gloriously bright. But in the twilight, it was spellbinding. Whether it was in the deep woods like Cecil or right outside town like Jane and Jenny, we were drawn to see more. Vera, you said you recall smiling. Some of you were alone. I wasn't. My dear grandma, God bless her, rejoiced as if some forebearer of good fortune. Grandma lifted me from the carriage on the porch and walked into the yard so we could watch it unobstructed.
There's definitely something wrong with this voice that we're hearing. And I might be Cecil. Or I might not be. If it's like the previous Myst games, the main character that you play as is an important character, but is a silent protagonist, unnamed.
But, well, we followed. And we all felt some kind of trepidation, yet attraction. So we approached it, and it approached us.
There is also, this game was kickstarted, so there's an option to see backer rewards. I have that off, so I imagine if it was on, you might see a sign or two thanking somebody who kickstarted this game. I don't see why anybody would really want that on, at least in their first playthrough.
You all remember, there was no turning away. It advanced, almost like purposefully, spinning slowly until, well, it found us, each of us. We should tell these stories because it saved us, and there must be.
Looks like a big acorn. There's a lot of particles on the screen right now, and I'm getting a lot of lockups. Part of the problem with recording your footage while you're playing a game is that the G-force experience can often be a little bit wrong. And the auto detect did say to turn down the range from max to epic. So can we change that? Let's see. If I was to just go and auto detect and just go back this way. What it's going to want to do is turn down the resolution scale and just have everything in epic, which isn't a real step down. And in all honesty, there's an argument to turning off the NVIDIA HDR, because it's not like that HDR is even going to really change as much as it could once you upload a video on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't support HDR, or my recording software doesn't support HDR. See, that already feels a little bit smoother just by putting some limit on the render distance. Clearly we are somewhere different, and in fact this feels very much like an important location in the Myst series that isn't really talked about or touched about until about the 4th game of, I think, 5 games. But also it's just here specifically to make sure we walk in a single direction. So the name Obduction pretty much means we've been abducted, taken away from where we are. How tall are we? This feels very odd. Like, this makes me feel like I'm barely 3 feet tall. And left stick changes us from run to walk. Camera mode unlocked in case you wanted to do this. Now locked. And there's no photos right now. Man. And man, this menu is bad. And this is a very recent game. So we take a picture and photos and this, and we can just delete it. So that's interesting. But then what's the deal with the Alt F2? The Alt F2 Ansel features, hopefully you can see all of this, gives you all of these extra things you can do. So if you want to put a black and white filter on your photo, or make some other adjustments to brightness or darkness. Seems like it might even have a few effects you can do. Some very basic things that you would have on any video. Yeah, I don't see why NVIDIA would bother to have that. And it does feel like it would be slightly smoother while I have my hand on the mouse and the keyboard to play it this way than it would be to play it on the controller. Ideally, I think I want the cursor to go away. Can I? I know we're doing a lot of setup here, but general, character shadow, male, subtitles were on by default, backer rewards, hint glints off. You could apparently mute the entire game. Everything is at the maximum. I will say the audio quality was at default. I turned it up to high. I still feel like volume should start in the middle. Like, if this is still a little too quiet for me, and I'd have to go turn it up some other way. Man. Cursor size. Cursor mode locked. Unlocked. Cursor size. Maybe we could go all the way here and do this. Ah, that looks a lot better. Just like, I don't need a cursor. I may have to fiddle with it some more when I actually need to interact with something, but welcome to Hunrath. And see, there is a little cursor that still shows up, but it's a lot smaller. Oh, there's a button. And so the dot fills in.
Hello, bonjour, ciao, hola, hello, shora, ni hao. Welcome to Hunrath. My name is Joseph. I am the mayor here. You are most probably a bit confused and disoriented. But let me reassure you, everything will be fine. You're not the first to go through this experience. The others who have come before you will help you adjust. Follow the trail to the house with the white picket fence. Fali will meet you there and introduce you to your new life here.
Again, I feel like I'm only 4 feet tall. Maybe 4 feet. And so here's our male shadow with our legs not connecting. Which, that seems odd. So standing next to this, was that about 1.5 feet taller than this is? And I kind of wonder why you couldn't simply have just had an ambiguous shadow in the first place. Like, how much of the game really changes? Well, I guess that is a pretty female shadow. Oh, what did I just hit? The credits? I guess I did. So this is more fiddling with the settings, and that's inherently, I think, the problem with a lot of games, modern games. Is you want all these great video settings, but also you don't understand what they do. At least I don't understand them completely. I understand a lot of them, but I don't have expert knowledge, and you have to fiddle with it all and spend potentially 30 minutes to an hour just dealing with getting the game to run smoothly and look nice. You can see there's some rail tracks, and there's been a lot of people, it seems like they've been, these rocks seem all shimmery, so Perhaps they can be interacted with later. So people have been getting abducted for decades. And we are the latest victim, I suppose, of this. Although the dialogue said they saved us. So in Myst, if you don't know Myst, the game had a lot of live action videos that were recorded and played on magical books. Here we get live action videos that are playing on electronics. And it seems like we're going to have more things to interact with, and maybe some even just regular normal people that we talk to. And this is just the street. An entire house and an entire street. That felt a little awkward. Going up and down. Let's try that again. Yeah, it kind of bounced back. Interesting. I'll have great interest in this game because it's a very small company who's managed to stay small but hasn't really managed to learn any of the new ways of programming. So this really is an example of a game that 25 years ago programmed the game using basically PowerPoint, although it was a Macintosh product, Mac slideshow or something, to make the first version of Myst. And then they worked throughout the years learning new technologies, but they're not up to things like Unreal or Unity or their own engine. I wish there was a way to zoom in. Like, right now would be a great time for the left to right bump to do something. Let's see if we can read this. It's a little bright. To Carolyn, or whoever else might come back. It has been 5 days and not a soul has returned. I am inclined to believe that things have not gone well. Yet surprisingly I am still alive, and that both supremely perplexes me and gives me some portion of hope. I have returned to my vault for protection and to contemplate my options. CW. Let me just... No music playing. No music playing at all. And this really is a game that I guess you're going to have to turn the audio up, because I can hear some silence and some ambient noise of the world, and when they were talking it seemed just slightly quiet. When they've opted to go a little quieter than they probably should have. And this is Farley, and they're at 1436, or they were. Farley's Community Center. Let's see. Can we push these close? No, that's a little game broken. Like, you can't know physics or real world physics interaction. And you're kind of assuming that this planet is this desert region, but there's also a lot of purple in the background. So I kind of have to assume that the desert region might be from a different area too. Since we see a whole house was taken, maybe a whole desert was taken, or maybe all the purple rocks are taken. You can't see through the windows, yet you're getting some weird reflections. Like, a very low resolution image is being flipped and shown of this, not reflecting me or any of the effects. It doesn't look very good. These might as well have just been black. Warning, do not approach anything that remotely resembles the diagram unless it has been disabled. So we might find that there are some dangerous things in this world. It'd be a little weird for a Myst-like game, and that's really what this is. To actually kill you, but maybe. And clearly these things react to people being near them.
Hi, I'm starry. I guess if you're seeing this, then I wasn't able. Just in case. Welcome. But it's probably not safe here. To be blunt, we're getting ready for a battle. I don't know what you'll find. I just thought I should. Just be cautious with who you trust. CW may be here. I don't know. Just be careful. I've got to go. See you soon. And don't panic. As jarring as this experience is, you really will find Hunter out to be a decent price.
So we've walked into some intrigue. This is a really good thought of Cyan Interactive to do this game before they try to do anything more ambitious. Like, maybe they will return to the Myst series. There's a lot of work you would need to do to fix it. They don't own the rights to Myst 3 Exiles, so they can't ever re-release that. Myst 4 had some problems, and Myst 5 had some problems too. So they kind of need to soft reboot the whole series and make a new Myst 3 if they were going to do that, or just reboot the series completely and make a new Myst. Take some of the best ideas and puzzles from the entire series and mix them together. Make a quicker, easier, more expedited process. Myst games, and even this game, are going to have to adapt to the new style of players and the new styles of video games. There's just not as many hours to play a single game as there used to be. People don't have the patience. They don't want to wander around. Even right now, we've got it where we have no clue where to go. Like, do I go that way? Or do I go this way? Let's see. And I can't interact with this apparently. I like the way this cursor mode is working with the cursor off. This isn't how they designed the game, but it's capable of doing that. So I can right click the cursor and move it around the screen, kind of like a hidden object game, and do any small amount of pixel hunting that's necessary while I can still enjoy the scenery and not have to worry about a cursor being in front of my face the whole time, which I would have found really annoying. Now, in Riven, one of the puzzles is built around audio, and yeah, I'm gonna have to turn up the audio for that reason. And so there's like a barrier, so we are blocked off to this further part, either by magic or technology. I would assume technology. So I'm hearing like a cricket in this area. Which I guess that means the game is doing us some favors, and we can see there's even a laser there that's probably keeping this barrier up. Ribbon, for example, allowed you to wander like almost 100% of the map at the very beginning. Carl Hunrath. That's interesting. Luther Roscoe. Ida. Now, compare a game like this to Gone Home, where you could pick up pieces of paper to read, and they had a typed out version of what was written, so you would pick something up written in like cursive handwriting. They made it nice and easy for people that might have some struggle try to read the cursive, whether English is not their first language, or frankly nowadays they don't even teach cursive in school. It stops being useful or practical when everybody started keyboarding and typing. You would kind of hope that you could pick this up, but you can't. There is a lot of graveyards, though. A lot of people died. Apparently they've even got one of a person whose name was erased, or maybe they've just got the headstone already. Where they got the headstones? That's an interesting question. The way this is designed gives me the feeling that this barrier has been here for a while. Alright. Well, let's ask this. Can we save a game? No, it seems like it auto-saves. Well, this has been a little bit more of a messing with settings than actually playing the game. I think I still am going to have to mess with settings a little bit and turn up the audio a little bit. I'm going to look at what it looks like. I think if I turned off the HDR and the MRS, maybe we could get a smoother experience. My graphics card sadly needs a little bit of an upgrade. It was a bit defective to begin with. The GTX 970 didn't have as much RAM as it was supposed to, so I'm thinking maybe I could do that, or maybe I could even scale the resolution down and get a smoother experience. Like if I did something like that and then resume the game. That does not look good. That does not look good at all. Look at how the plants and everything just got really ugly at 50%. That is no way to play this game. So while that does seem like it might be smoother, it's not acceptable. I think probably leaving your resolution as native resolution is fine, and just turning this off, and maybe we could just turn this to low. Without high dynamic range, you may notice that it's a lot brighter now. It is way, way brighter. And yet I still kind of feel like when we start to get into run mode and we run around, I think we're almost there, but I think turning off the NVIDIA functions particular still would be helpful. Yeah, locking in the settings when you're recording is weird because you also are using your video card to record the video, and that's something that you're not going to ever have a game designer work towards, even if they do really love streamers. Let's see. I wonder if I could turn this off and then turn this back on. And texture memory, you would want the texture memory as high as possible. Maybe I need to turn VSync on. Sometimes VSync actually helps in a weird way. Normally I don't want it, but this feels smooth. Yeah, I think VSync helped. In fact, I might even be able to get the graphics back up to... No, we still hit a little bit of a lag there. When you start running into new areas, when you start loading in more textures. Yeah, we're going along, fiddling with settings. This game feels like it should have more of a... Let's see, what if we turned it down to 25%? Turn that off too. Feels like it should have had more of an intro to it than what it has. Like there's something definitely with this. Getting abducted is a good intro, but we need somebody as a character to be terrified, to scream, to be upset, to be out of breath. That like we need that feeling of there being some real stakes and some real fear in being abducted. And it's that exact same place. This might very well just be part of their engine. And yeah, I just don't know. Like, if I was to run from here, perhaps in walk mode, I can walk to this and not get it to lock up. No, it's clearly something that either would require some desperate measures, like really desperate measures, going down from high, like let's just try the lowest of the low. And see what that looks like. This is wow. Take note, there's no grass, no plants. This desert has changed from a green foliage area to just an empty section. So it's not even the textures of the plants that mattered. There's something hitting the hard drive and causing that little bit of lag. Like, it's not even a graphics thing. Just when you get here, you get that little lockup. And I have this installed on an SSD, so it's not, there's very unlikely, unrealistic ways to speed up the disk read and disk write. But for most people, and here's a couple of more things. So, yeah, I think we're just gonna get some of that. Man, the menu with the controller doesn't work right. So we set everything back up to the highest. Let's put the resolution to the highest. And do this to the on. And do this to the highest. And just leave the VSync on. And apply. So this would be the most demanding the game can do. All the plant work is back. There's a lot more texture. And honestly, even here, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. And this looks a lot better than what it could go down to. They more than likely were developing this so that it could be a cell phone game. But or at least play on cell phone games with the point-click interface. I think it actually is an iPad game at the very least. And yeah, we're just gonna have those little hitches. One would hope that they could patch that out, particularly since it seems like we're going to run into those hitches a little bit more than what we should. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have